Guys, Miss M here. Today is August 21st. This is actually lunchtime, and I'm using my time to tell you what we're doing in class today. The first thing I'm doing today is to have everybody paired up with 3 partners separately, 1, 2, 3 rounds, and I'm giving you an opportunity to run through all 7 of the conversations with a partner, just again in the privacy of just you and one collaborative partner. So let's do this. I'm going to stand to the side. I'll try to simulate this activity with you. You are going to need to look at that and play the part. And I've got a copy here. And take your Cornell notes and use them. You do not have the sheet that you hand wrote out. So just use your Cornell notes and try if you can to wean yourself off of the Cornell notes. Next week we're starting with our testing. And so try to get yourself to the point where you know these, that you've memorized them, and don't use your notes as much as possible. So I'll take part A, and then I'll give you a second to say part B, and then I'll do A again. So we're going to go through it where I'll be part A in all 7 of these mini conversations, okay? All right, so here we go. Buenos días. ¿Cómo está usted, señor Montoya? Okay, you should have said, muy bien, gracias. ¿Y tú, Roberto? And then I would say, regular. Okay, going on now to conversation 2. Buenas tardes, señorita Álvarez. ¿Cómo está usted? Okay, you would have said, bien, gracias. ¿Y usted? And either señorita or señora Gutierrez. And then I would say back, no muy bien. Okay, moving on now to conversation 3, which is the longest one of the entire page. Slide up here. Conversation 3. Hola, ¿cómo te llamas? Okay, and you would have said, me llamo, with your first name, me llamo Beatriz. ¿Y tú? And then I'll say, to use the other one, I'll say, mi nombre es Sandra, mucho gusto. Or I could have said, encantada. Okay, then you have part B. You would have said, igualmente, ¿cómo estás? Okay, then I'll say, muy bien, gracias. Okay, moving on now to conversation 4. I'll say, buenas noches, ¿qué pasa? And you would have said, nada. Okay, now we go to conversations 5, 6, and 7 to wrap this up. Again, this is a little awkward, but I'm just trying to give you an opportunity to do what we did in class today. Okay, so conversation 5, I'll start. And it says to use the expression that could mean either thing, either what's going on or how are you. That's the only expression I wanted in conversation 5, okay? So I would say, hola, ¿qué tal? Okay, so if you decided that ¿qué tal means what's going on, then you would say nada. And if you decided that ¿qué tal means how are you, then you would say muy bien, gracias, or bien, or no muy bien. Okay, so you would decide, or regular. Okay, now moving on to conversation 6. I'll say, hasta mañana. And then you would have said, adios. And then conversation 7, hasta luego. And then you would say, nos vemos. I'm going to go back now, and I'm going to do part B, but I am not going to repeat part A. Since I just did, you can go back and listen to get the correct pronunciation, etc. from part A since I just did it. Okay, so I'm just going to do part B only now. Okay, so I'm going to give you a second to say 1A. Muy bien, gracias. ¿Y tú, Roberto? Now we're going to go on to conversation 2, and you start. Bien, gracias. ¿Y usted, señorita Gutierrez? Now we move on to conversation 3. I'm not sure if I'm hiding it there behind me, so let me just slide it up to try to be sure. Is that? Okay, here we go. So now you're starting with conversation 3. Me llamo Sandra. ¿Y tú? Igualmente. ¿Cómo estás? Okay, now going on to 4. You start. Nada. Okay, now going on to 5. You start. Muy bien, gracias. Okay, 6 and 7. I'm going to wrap this up. Adios. And now 7. Nos vemos. Okay, so that was giving you an opportunity as well as I can do here like this to practice your pronunciation with the support of having your actual notes in your hand. The whole purpose of this is to get you away from the notes by giving you opportunities to practice. So here you're looking at only the English, and you could try it by trying to remember them, but you had your notes in your hand if you needed to look whenever you needed to look. What we're going to do now is I've got all the flashcards here. This is the first time that we're doing this today in class where this is just a covered card. There's nothing on that card on the front or the back. It's just covering the last card. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say it in English, and I'm going to give you 3 seconds to say it in Spanish. Try not to use your notes. Try really hard not to use your notes. Then I'll pull the card up and show you the answer. So this is a flashcard review, English to Spanish for the very first time with this set of vocab that we've been working on now for 7 days. And this is day 8. Okay, here we go. See you tomorrow. Hasta mañana. You're welcome. De nada. Likewise, same here. Igualmente. What's up? What's happening? ¿Qué pasa? Formal. How are you? ¿Cómo está usted? Not very well. No muy bien. The one that either means how are you or what's up. ¿Qué tal? 2 words for my name is. Me llamo. Nothing. Nada. Mrs. Also could be Ms. and it can mean ma'am as in yes ma'am. Señora. When you take this quiz, you will be required to know both the written out version and the abbreviation. So make sure you are learning how to spell both of them. Informal. And you? ¿Y tú? Hi. Hola. Good evening. Buenas noches. Formal. And you? ¿Y usted? See you later. Hasta luego. Please. Por favor. The unmarried one, Miss. It also could be MS period, Ms. Or it could be ma'am, like when you say to a single teacher, female teacher, yes ma'am, you would use this. Señorita, make sure you know how to spell the written out word and that you know how to write the abbreviation. Okay, so. regular. See ya. Nos vemos. Very good, very well. Muy bien. Informal. How are you? ¿Cómo estás? Thank you. Gracias. Very. Muy. Good, fine, or well. Yeah. Hello, or good morning. Buenos dias. Sir or Mr. Senor. You have to know both. 3 words for my name is. Mi nombre es. Goodbye. Adios. 2 words for it's nice to meet you. Mucho gusto. 1 word for it's nice to meet you. If you're a girl, encantada. If you're a boy, encantado. Good afternoon. Buenas tardes. Informal. What's your name? ¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas? And the last thing I want to show you right now, which I've been showing everybody in class today, is the actual quiz that you'll be taking next week. And I have 8 versions. I usually make up 8 versions. The little quizzes are tiny. I try to conserve paper, so I actually end up with 8 versions all on 1 sheet of paper. And then if I have like 150 students, then I run off the number of copies, but it's not very much paper to get like 150 copies versions because I only need that many. So most of the quizzes are small like that, and they're 25 points each. But every so often, I give a sentence quiz where you have to write complete sentences which demonstrate not just simple vocab, but also that you're understanding the grammar. Those are usually what I call double wide quizzes, and they're going to be worth 10 points each. So those are like 50-point quizzes. And so up here you see the very first quiz, but I do need to point out that I have to go back and make a couple of changes and update this. This is from last year because I did not have please in the notes last year. In this lesson, it came later. So I have to go back. I have not even printed this yet. I have to go back. So that's 1 sheet of paper. Let me get the light. I don't want this on PowerPoint. Let me try this. Okay, so that's 1 sheet of paper, as you see, crammed in there, all 8 versions on 1 sheet. And so now I'm going to blow it up and let you look at a couple of versions there. Just remember that please will be added to 1 or 2 or 3 versions. Okay, so what you're going to do is up here on this line, on the title line, you're going to write the period number, like 5, and then you'll put your first name, at least your first name. And if there is anybody in here with the same first name, then both of you, of course, will need to put your initial of your last name, and then you'll put the date over here in the top right corner. Okay, so like it'll be 5 Susie 8/27/19, something like that. Okay, then you take the quiz. Every question on this one is going to be worth 5. So right there you will put Buenos dias, and it's worth 5. If you accidentally put BEU instead of BUE, that's -1. If you put DIAS, but put the accent mark on the A instead of on the I, that would be -1. If you leave an accent off where there should have been one, that's -1. If you decide to see, if you can't remember what vowel the accent goes on, and you try to straddle 2 vowels and hope that I will guess that I'll just pick the right one, I promise you I will not pick the right one, so you will be missing a point. So make sure that the accent mark is squarely right on top of the correct letter, and don't try to put it between 2 letters, hoping that I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. I will not. Okay, so number 2, sir, not the abbreviation. You will write out senor. Number 3, how are you? Informal. ¿Cómo estás? Etc. No, I'm not counting off for leaving out the upside down question mark, but I do count off for accents, spelling. I do count off for things like that, flipping words, etc. Okay, here's another version. Okay, see on this version, I want the abbreviation of Mr. Okay, so there will be, all of the questions will be represented throughout the 8 versions. All right, so now that you can see a third one there, I'm now going to flip the light back on and say one more thing. Here we go. Okay, so what I want to say is that I have this thing that I started up a couple of years ago. And what I do is this. If you come in, you take the quiz, say I give this quiz on Tuesday, you take the quiz, and you end up getting, say, an 18 out of 25, that actually is a 72%. So perhaps you're not happy with the 72%, but what I do is I offer you an opportunity to retake it, but you don't know which version you'll get when you retake it, and I don't know either. I deliberately do not keep track of what version you get the first time, second time you take a quiz. I don't want to know. I want it to be random. So when you take it a second time, who knows? You may get the same version or you may get one of the other versions. But you have to get at least 1 point better the second time around. If you get 1 point or more better, that means that if you ever choose during the 9 weeks to retake it again and still improve it, you have the privilege, the option of retaking it. But if you make the same grade, or if you get worse on your second time, then you're done. You don't get another opportunity to retake it. And also you keep your first grade. You don't go down. You never go down, but you will not ever get a chance to retake it. This eliminates people coming in and saying, well, what quiz did I do poorly on in here? Well, it looks like your worst score, your worst percentage was on 1A Part 2. Well, just sign me up for that one then. Let me just try it. Okay, that means you did not review and study at all, and you make me spend more time grading your second effort than you spent even reviewing to take it again. So no, you need to review, spend time studying again on something before you say, I want to retake it. And then if you get better, you can keep on until you get the grade you're happy with. You just never know what version you're going to get. So the first time I offer a quiz in class, you have your first opportunity. Then I will pick a day where I offer it a second time in class. That is mainly meant for the people who are absent the first time, because I don't hold that against them. I don't make them come in on their own time to take something just because they were absent. So the second time, anybody who wants to retake it can retake it. You just put your name down on a piece of paper when you come in and say, I'm ready and I want to retake so-and-so because I made a 20 out of 25 and I think I can make a perfect score. I know I can get better. I've studied. Okay. Or if you were absent, then you're automatically signed up to take it on the second day. Now, after I've offered a quiz 2 times in class, I don't offer it again in class. However, you can come during rater time and retake things at your leisure until the end of that 9 weeks. You can tell your rater time teacher, could you email Ms. McClanahan, tell her I'm on my way over there, and I'm going to retake 1A Part 2 in rater time today. Okay, no problem. Email me. You come over and you say, I want to take 1A Part 2 again, please. I'm like, sure, no problem. Pick it out of my little bank here of unused quizzes and hand it to you. You sit down, you retake it, and you can do that all the way up till the end. Rater time or before school if you schedule it, or right after school if you schedule it with me in advance, because we never know if I'm going to be here or if I have a conference, a meeting in the morning, etc. So those are all the things that I am discussing in class today if you're absent or if you want to go back and do a review with these, even if you were here, okay? Everybody have an awesome day, and we'll see y'all later, okay? Hasta luego.